Muga silk is a biological anomaly, a naturally golden fiber constrained by strict environments, giving Assam an absolute 90% monopoly over its global production. As India's very first GI-tagged silk, it carries built-in legal exclusivity. These intricate weaves and distinct golden sheen possess the cultural equity required to compete in the global luxury market. Yet this localized monopoly presents a glaring economic paradox. Despite controlling a highly constrained luxury commodity, the base of the supply chain remains decoupled from the final market value of the product. To see the scale of this disconnect, we have to look at the producer data. While Assam dominates the global market share, the 2.6 lakh farmer and weaver families dependent on this crop earn only 1,000 to 21,000 rupees annually. An income disparity of this magnitude indicates that the problem is not a lack of demand, it is a failure of supply chain architecture and capital allocation. Mission Snehahori is a targeted, cluster-based policy intervention designed to correct this specific market failure. Initiated by the central government under Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, the mission brings the administrative weight necessary to execute a large-scale structural overhaul. The intervention relies on a concentrated capital injection of 400 crore rupees. This funding is being deployed across Assam's major Muga-producing districts over a strict 3-year timeline. By deconstructing this capital deployment, we can map exactly how the state plans to vertically integrate a fragmented local craft and engineer it into a competitive global luxury brand. Building an economic engine on a biological resource requires predictability. You must stabilize the raw inputs before you can scale the commercial output. Currently, the cultivation of Muga silkworms is decentralized and vulnerable to environmental shifts. Without standardized agricultural practices, the yield remains too unpredictable for large-scale production. The first phase of the roadmap targets this vulnerability by strengthening plantation cultivation. This fortifies the biological base and increases the survivability rates of the silkworms. Without standardizing this upstream node, any downstream investment in mechanized processing would lack the raw volume necessary to operate efficiently. Once the raw yield is stabilized, the process hits its most severe bottleneck, yarn extraction. Traditional manual extraction methods physically limit the total volume of silk produced. This constraint caps the daily throughput and, by extension, suppresses the earnings of individual weavers. To break this ceiling, Mission Snehahori is modernizing yarn extraction facilities and establishing common facility centers, or CFCs. This map shows the intended economic impact. Mechanized extraction drastically increases throughput and standardizes thread quality, allowing weavers to process larger volumes in shorter timeframes. Capital-intensive infrastructure provides the mechanical leverage needed to translate raw human labor into scalable commercial output. Scaling output is ineffective if the producers cannot capture the resulting profit margins. This requires a shift from physical infrastructure to institutional architecture. The project uses farmer-producer organizations, or FPOs, as a critical collective bargaining mechanism for the weavers. As weavers converge into an FPO, they negotiate bulk rates and eliminate intermediaries who absorbed margins. These common facility centers are meant to be utilized by these collectives, granting direct control over advanced capital infrastructure. FPOs leveraging state-funded CFCs is the exact mathematical engine intended to multiply the 1,000 baseline income over the 3-year timeline. The final stage of the supply chain involves positioning this standardized output within the global luxury market. Rather than competing as fragmented local vendors, the strategy bundles the standardized output under a single unified umbrella brand, Snehahori. Strict enforcement of the geographical indication certification acts as an economic firewall. It prevents counterfeit dilution and allows the brand to maintain the luxury premium associated with artificial scarcity. Without umbrella branding and rigorous GI enforcement, increased production volume would simply crash the commodity price. The branding locks in the margin. Viewing the complete map, we see Mission Snehahori as a full-scale structural redesign of a regional economy, moving past the limitations of traditional agricultural subsidies. Executing this transformation requires synchronized collaboration between the Assam state government, the Central Silk Board, the Ministry of Textiles, and other central agencies. This combination of capital infrastructure and institutional architecture translates a localized monopoly into sustainable, high-yield income for the producer base. The Snehajori model serves as a potential blueprint for other uniquely Indian, regionally monopolized commodities. India possesses dozens of GI-tagged products that suffer from the exact same monopoly margin paradox seen in the traditional Muga silk industry. If the cluster-based, GI-enforced model of Mission Snehajori successfully captures global luxury margins, which other GI-tagged Indian textile or handicraft possesses the latent monopoly power to replicate this economic transformation?